Hey guys, Courtney here with Courtney's Customs, and today I'm going to be showing y'all how to make a Beehive honey drip tumbler with Courtney's Customs Waterslide paper and these adorable little rhinestone bees that I found on Amazon. Alright you guys, so I am working with a 20-ounce fatty from Courtney's Customs Blanks, and I don't know if you can tell, but I did sand it. I get a lot of questions whenever I start off with just a completely plain stainless steel, if I sanded it or not. I do. I just don't think you can really see it on camera, but she sanded it down pretty good. And I'm going to be base painting this terracotta from Pop of Color. I know it's not exactly, like, I would prefer a yellow, but I don't want to spray paint today. I'm really loving these Pop of Color paints. And it's just, I prefer it over spray painting, and I can use the paint as my adhesive. So I use these paints whenever I can possibly get away with it. And the coverage is just awesome. So once I'm satisfied with that, I am immediately going to go in with a chunky mix called Hive from the Glitter Grind. And I'm using the paint as my adhesive. And I'm going to cover the entire tumbler. Now, I'm not going to get impatient. I'm telling myself this to give myself a little boost. I'm not going to get impatient and take the lid off and just start dumping, because when I do that, even though I might get, you know, everything on there quicker, I don't get as much of the fine and the medium sized pieces of glitter. I just get a lot of the chunky, and it's still pretty, but I just get a better coverage if I take my time and use the lid on the shaker to kind of help sift through the chunky pieces and get a really nice even mix of both chunky and fine. Now that the entire tumbler is covered, look how pretty. I'm going to very gently lay my tumbler down on my wax paper and just kind of roll it up. And I'm very, very gently pressing down on the wax paper, and this is just helping me lay all of that chunky glitter flat, and it's just helping me get it done a little quicker rather than going through with my finger and pushing all of it down. So now everything is laying down nice and flat. Now the only thing I need to do is spray this. I'm going to give it a couple coats with 2x Rust-Oleum Clear. I'm actually going to do one coat, let it dry, then another coat, and then I'm going to add 2 coats of epoxy and come back to show you all the next step. Okay, so there are now 2 coats of epoxy over this. We're going to move on to the decals, which is going to be a Peekaboo and a Waterslide. So I cut out some hexagons on my Cameo, and I don't know how that one got completely out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that one on real quick. Okay, so this vinyl is not going to be staying on there. This is going to be the Peekaboo aspect of it. So make sure to use a color that, you know, you don't really mind wasting. And I'm trying to place these while keeping in mind that I am going to be adding a decal. So I need to be mindful of that so I can keep room for it. Okay, so now I have this apple barrel acrylic paint. This is called King's Gold, and it's a really golden yellow. So we're going to stay in the yellow family, but not make it like a really bright yellow. I want it to be more golden yellow. So I have this sponge brush, and I am just going to be pretty generous with the paint, but I don't want to do nice smooth strokes. I want to give this tumbler a lot of texture. So I am dabbing all of the paint on. And I'm going to do this until the entire tumbler is covered. So now that the paint's dry, you can, I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but you can see very vaguely where that vinyl is laid down. So I am just going to very carefully come through with my weeding pick and pull that vinyl off to reveal that really, really beautiful glitter underneath. Alright, now that is done. Looks super cute. Now this big old blank spot right here is where a decal is going to go. And I got this decal from Creative Fabrica. I will have a link in the description. It has a little bee and it says "Be Happy," which I thought was very fitting. So this is Courtney's Customs Waterslide paper. I still have maybe like 5 packs left on my website, but y'all will get to see it in action now. So just like always, I'm putting it down in my water for like 30 seconds or so. Oh my gosh, while we're waiting, you know what I totally forgot to tell you? I took this outside and gave it a light spray with 2 times Rust-Oleum Clear to give it a barrier between the acrylic paint and the water, because I made a mistake and did not do that before, and the water just like completely washed away all the paint. So definitely do a layer of sealant first if you plan on not adding a layer of epoxy first. So sorry, I almost hid away that very important detail. Promise I didn't do it on purpose. My brain just doesn't work sometimes. Alright, so just like with all of my other water slides, and I am going to be putting it down because I'm going to add a drip. So I'm going to put it down kind of low. But once I'm sure that I have it sitting straight, lay it face down, slide the backing off, and there we go. Now I'm going to use my squeegee and work away those wrinkles and trapped air and trapped water. There we go. Everything is good and dry, so I am ready to move on. Still have not added any epoxy yet. I'm going to try something a little different for the drip. Normally you guys see me do the cornstarch and Mod Podge. I've seen a lot of people use fabric paint. So this fabric paint, this is metallic gold, and it came in a set of 24 from Hippie Crafter. I love Hippie Crafter, I really do. They have a lot of supplies, and I do want to give their epoxy a try, which is something I never thought I would say because I love KS resin. But not that there's anything wrong with KS resin, I love it, I always will. I just want to try. So this, like I said, came from Hippie Crafter. It is metallic gold, and I'm going to use that for my drips. I've seen so many people do it, and I'm going to start on the back just to see like how far it drips down. I've seen a lot of people do this right here, and then like, let me get a paper towel so I'm not just like slamming it down. Do this little number here to get it to drip. Okay, so that was literally my first time doing it this way, the drips. I don't know, I kind of feel mixed about it. It was easy, you didn't have to prep or make anything, but I feel like I had a lot less control over it. So I'm going to give it like a 6 out of 10. So now I've just got it sitting on the PVC pipe, and I'm going to let it sit upside down like this. I'm pretty sure it's done moving, but I just want to make sure. So I'm going to let it sit upside down for a while. I'm going to watch it. If I have to tip it back over, then I will. But I'm going to let it sit overnight before I do any sort of epoxy over it, just like I do with my Mod Podge and cornstarch. I just want to make sure it is completely hardened and dried before I smear epoxy all over it and ruin the entire tumbler. Alright guys, so there are 2 coats of epoxy over this. I had to think about it for a second. There's 2 coats over this, and now it's time for what I've been most excited for about this tumbler. Look how daggone cute. These little bees are, I got them from Amazon, and they have little bedazzles on their wings. I'm so excited. So I'm going to treat these little bees like I would rhinestones. So let me show you. This would be nice. This is my first ever rhinestone tumbler. But with a rhinestone tumbler, there is no epoxy over these rhinestones. There's some on the bottom to kind of fill that in. But no epoxy over these rhinestones because that's going to make it lose its shine. It's going to look kind of funky if you cover all that in epoxy. So what I use to put the rhinestones on is liquid fusion, and you do this after you're not going to be adding any more epoxy. This is done. So I'm just going to be filling in these bees on the back with the liquid fusion, pressing them on, letting them sit for like a couple minutes before I roll the tumbler around and put them elsewhere. So literally all I'm doing, letting it dry, and then this will be completely done. Look how cute! I absolutely love this. I love the design before, but the little like rhinestone bees just pull it all together for me. So once you put the bees on, this liquid fusion, they will not come off. I think you would have to like really force and tug and pull to get them off. So no more epoxy is required. This is done at this point. I love it. Let me know what you guys think. Before I go, like always, I do have y'all's cup of positivity for the day, and today's quote is, "Make your life matter and have fun doing it." And that was said by Aaron Hurst. That is all I have for y'all today. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and like always, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Be kind, love one another, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!